Words appear. Learning Together with Zoe Fiogkos and Victor Gouveia announcing. On Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. The Blind Perspective Network. Brought to you by VIP Tech and Greek Auto Services. Welcome all to Learning Together here on Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. I am your announcer, Victor Gouveia. Remember, if you like what you're about to hear, activate the like button and definitely subscribe to Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. And follow us on Facebook, Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And on Twitter at Blind Whos. In the next week or so, I will be getting the Learning Together podcast up and running, and you'll be able to subscribe to that podcast alone, or if you want to subscribe to the main channel, Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? You can do so as well. Additionally, if you want to contact Zoe Fiogkos, your host, or myself, you can email us at zoesblindkitchencorner@gmail.com, or you can contact Learning Together with Zoe at gmail.com, or you can contact Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway at gmail.com. On this episode of Learning Together, Zoe has finished with her voiceover system settings, and now she's going into the Mac system preferences. And your host, Zoe Fiogkos.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Learning Together. And finally, we are done with the voiceover utility, and we're going to move on to system preferences. Not sure, pardon me, not sure if we're going to do every single item in system preferences. We'll see. I'm going to decide as I go. Now, if I keep saying this, but if you have a request or you want more clarification on an aspect of anything we've done so far or something we haven't covered yet, please send me an email, and I will address whatever your inquiry is on a future episode. Yeah, you can reach me at zoesblindkitchencorner@gmail.com. You can comment in the section below if you're watching this on YouTube. You can send an email to Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway @gmail.com. If you're watching this episode through Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway, we're streaming on Facebook. So obviously you can comment on the Facebook page, and I will again answer your query. Victor will let me know if sorry. You can also catch us on Twitter at Blind Whos. We're streaming there again through Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? Yeah, I hope I said that correctly. And of course, you can ask Alexa to go out and find Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And she'll play my episodes along with a whole bunch of other entertaining shows. So let's yeah, I'm gonna share my screen and we'll get started with system preferences. Now there's a few ways to get into system preferences. Let me remove my headset so you guys can hear my Mac as usual. And let's also turn up the volume on the Mac.
Control.
I think that should be good. Let's see.
StreamYard.com is sharing your
Yeah.
screen.
Okay. So if I press Vo M,
Menu bar, Apple.
the
You are currently on a menu bar item. To open this menu, press Control, Option, Space.
okay, so we can press Control Option Space to activate the menu. So I pressed Vo M to get to the menu bar, but you can just also arrow down, at least if you have things set up the way I do.
Apple, menu. About this Mac. System preferences, ellipsis.
So there
You
you
are
go.
currently on a menu item.
The first item is about this Mac. The
Control.
second item is system preferences. That if I Vo space on that right now, it'll take me to system preferences. The other way, I'm going to escape out of the menu.
System preferences, ellipsis. StreamYard.com is sharing your screen.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for telling us that StreamYard is sharing our screen. Yeah. If I press Vo D,
Option, Control, Dock. Google Chrome, open, 21 of 30. You are
That-
currently on a
shush. Vo D.
Control.
D as in Delta. D as in David. D as in dog. D for dock. Now, because Google Chrome is open, obviously, that's the last thing I opened on my dock. So when I open up my dock, or I don't actually open it up, it's open. When I go to my dock, VoiceOver is on the last item. I've mentioned that many times. If I press S,
System preferences, 2 of 30.
there
You
you
are
go.
currently on an application dock item. To open this application, press Control, Option, Space.
So I'm going to press Control Option Space.
Option, Control, Chrome. StreamYard.com is sharing your screen. Window. StreamYard.com is sharing your screen.
Okay. So
Control. You are currently on System Preferences. System Preferences. Window. Toolbar. You are currently on a toolbar. To interact with the items on this toolbar, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow.
okay. So this is what I said. I've mentioned this as well before, that when you open up an item, you should wait a few seconds until VoiceOver loads the item. So when I pressed Vo spacebar on System Preferences, which, by the way, she announced that it's 2 of 30, meaning I have 30 items in my dock, and that was number 2. Pardon me. And I pressed S and it went to System Preferences, and it took her a few seconds to load. That's why as soon as I pressed Vo D, it said Google Chrome, because I have Google Chrome open. Until she actually loads System Preferences, she's going to announce what's on the screen. Okay, so System Preferences is open, and it landed us on Toolbar. That's what it said, Toolbar. And we're on the toolbar, and it's telling us to interact with the toolbar. If I Vo left,
Control, Option, Zoom, dim button, minimize button, close button.
we
You are currently
have
on a
our close,
Control.
zoom, and minimize buttons. If I Vo right,
Control, minimize, zoom, dim, toolbar. You are currently
we're back to the toolbar.
Control.
If I interact with the toolbar,
In toolbar. 5 items, back, dim button.
she tells us there's 5 items. Back,
Control, forward, dim button.
forward,
You are currently on System Preferences. Show all, menu button.
show all.
System Preferences. Search text field, search text field, search, Control.
The announcement that we're on System Preferences is number 4 and a search field. So I'm going to stop interacting because I don't need any of those items.
Caught up toolbar.
If I Vo arrow right,
Control, Zoe Fiogkos. You,
it says my name. Okay?
Control,
So VoiceOver, for the most part, starts when you open up an app or a folder or anything for that matter, starts at the top of the screen. You're going to Vo right to get to where you want to go. Okay? So we're on toolbar, but we don't need anything in the toolbar. The first thing it announces is your name: Dave Smith, Joe Cocker. Yeah, that's a singer I know. Tom Cruise, or in my case, Zoe Fiogkos. I'm going to vote arrow right.
Option. Control. Apple ID. iCloud. Media and App Store.
She announces Apple ID, iCloud, media, and all that stuff.
Option. Apple ID button.
Now,
You are currently
Apple ID button. If
Control.
I want to sign out of Apple ID, if I want to manage my Apple ID or change settings in my Apple ID, this is the button I would press. Okay?
Control. Option. Family sharing button.
Family
currently on the button.
sharing button.
Control.
I think we'll deal with these items, even though they're part, after a certain update to OS, these things didn't used to be here. I don't remember if they were actually in system preferences, but they weren't here at the beginning. We're not actually in the main area of system preferences. Family sharing, you can, for those of you who don't know, you can set up family members to share your account. Okay? We'll maybe look at another one. I don't want to deal with Apple ID or Apple sharing right now. So let's go arrow right.
Option. Control. Preference panes. Scroll area.
All right. Now we're in the main area. She said preference panes, scroll area. If I vote arrow right.
Option. Preference panes. Scroll area. Preference panes. Scroll.
She just repeats
Control.
preference panes, scroll area, and it goes bong. That means there's nothing else. Okay? So if I interact with this area.
In preference panes. Scroll area. 29 items. General button.
Okay. She lands us on the first item, which is general. She tells us that there's 29 items in here. So let's vote space on general.
Control. Option. Empty. Scroll area.
Now, she said empty scroll area.
Control. Option. Appearance. Light. You are current. Toolbar. You are currently on it.
So I vote.
Control.
She says empty, but it's not. Okay. So if I vote left, it's the toolbar.
Option. Zoom. Dim. Button. Toolbar. Appearance. Light. Light. Selected. Top appearance.
Okay.
Light.
And then she starts giving you your general preferences. So the first thing we have is appearance.
Light. Selected. Toggle button.
There's
Use
a
light appearance
toggle
for buttons. Menus.
Actually,
Control.
let me let you hear what she says.
Control. Appearance. Light. Selected. Toggle button. Use a light appearance for buttons, menus, and windows. You are currently on a toggle button. To select or deselect this checkbox, press Control, Option, Space.
So obviously, if you want your menus and your windows and your screens to be light in appearance, meaning, a white page with black text, let's put it that way, so we can understand what we mean by light and dark, then you would check this, okay? So
Option, Control, Dark, Toggle button. Use a dark appearance for buttons, menus, and windows.
Here's the
You
dark.
are currently on an Auto, Toggle button. Dark, Toggle button. Use a dark appearance for buttons, menus, and windows. Blue, selected, Toggle button.
Okay.
Blue. You are currently on a toggle button.
So I vote spaced on
Control.
dark, and she announces blue. So the color blue. Let's vote right.
Control, Option, Purple, Toggle button.
Purple.
Pink, Toggle button. Red, Toggle button. Red. You are
Pink.
currently on a toggle button.
Shush. Pink. Red.
Orange, toggle button. Yellow, toggle button. Green, toggle button. Graphite, toggle button. Highlight color. You are currently on a graphite. Green, toggle button.
Okay, so you
Green.
have a whole bunch
You
of
are
choices.
currently on a toggle button. To
Let's
select or
just
deselect this
say-
checkbox. Yellow, toggle button. Orange, red, top pink, top purple, toggle blue. Selected, toggle button. Blue. You are current purple, top pink, top red, top orange, toggle button. Yellow, toggle button. Orange, toggle button. Red, toggle button. Select red, toggle button. Red. You are currently on a top.
When I got to red, I hit vote
Control.
space on red.
Control, orange, top red, selected, toggle button.
She says red selected.
Orange, top yellow, toggle button. Green, toggle
graphite,
toggle button. Highlight color.
When you get
You are
to the end of the colors, it says highlight
Control.
color.
Option, red, highlight color, sidebar icon size. You are red, highlight color, pop-up button. You are currently on a pop-up.
So the highlight color is a pop-up button.
Control.
Let's press that.
Control, option. Menu check mark. Red. Orange. Yellow. Green. Graphite. Other.
Okay.
You are currently.
So there's a few colors, and then you have your
Control.
other. If you press other, it's going to take you into color wheels and swatches and so on and so forth. So let's just
Control.
click
Graphite. Green. Yellow.
yellow.
You are current. Yellow. Highlight color. Pop-up button.
Okay.
Control. Sidebar icon size. You are
Sidebar icon
Control.
size.
Control. Large. Sidebar icon size. Pop-up button.
I
You
have
are
it
currently
set
on
to
a pop-up button.
large.
Menu check mark. Large. Check mark. Large. Medium. Small. Small. Medium. Check mark. Large.
So
Control.
obviously you have three choices: small, medium, large. I have it set to large. So I'm going to escape out of the pop-up menu, which I activated with VoSpace.
Large. Sidebar icon size. Pop-up button. Option.
I'm gonna-
Control.
I'm
You
going
are
to
currently on
vote
a pop-up button. To display a list of options, press Control. Option. Space.
chatty, chatty, chatty. I'm going to vote arrow right.
Automatically hide and show the menu bar. Uncheck. Checkbox.
Okay. Automatically hide and show the menu bar. That means if you're not using it, it doesn't show. And if you're using it, it shows. I couldn't give two hoots if it shows or not. I have it unchecked. I don't want it to automatically hide because it's not getting in my way. I'm not really sighted, okay? If it's a preference thing, again, if you have a little bit of vision and you don't want that menu showing, you know, by all means, go ahead and check it.
Option. Control. Show scroll bars. You automatically based on mouse or trackpad. Selected. Radio button. 1 of 3.
Show scroll bars.
Control. Option. Show scroll bars. Automatically based on mouse or trackpad. Selected. Radio button. 1 of 3.
That's the
You are
first.
currently on a radio button.
That's the first choice.
When scrolling. Radio button. 2 of 3. You always. Radio button. 3.
So you have when scrolling,
Control.
always, and the first
Control. When
one
scrolling. Automatically based on mouse or trackpad. Select.
automatically based on mouse or
Control.
trackpad. I, again, don't care about scroll bars. So that was the default. That's what it was set to. And I just left it there. Again, your choice, a preference thing. It's a radio button. So if you want, you would press VoSpace bar on the selection you
Control.
want.
When scroll. Always. Radio. Click in the scroll bar 2. You are currently on a text element.
Click in the scroll bar 2.
Jump to the next page. Selected. Radio button. Jump to the spot that's clicked. Radio button. Default web browser. You are currently on a text Safari app. Pop up. Default. Jump to the spot that's clicked. Jump to the next page. Selected. Radio
Okay,
button.
So we have two choices. Jump to the next page.
Control.
Jump to the spot that's clicked. I don't care. I don't use scroll bars. Let's go to the next item.
Control option. Jump to the spot. Default web browser. You are
Default web
Control.
browser. For me, this is important. I have Safari, which is the native internet browser that comes with the Mac, Safari. If you have an iPhone, you know that. If you have a Mac, you know that. But let's say you don't have a Mac, but you have an iPhone. Well, it's the same thing. It's called the same thing. Safari on the iPhone, Safari on the Mac. That's the Apple internet browser. But I also use Google Chrome because certain websites, like the one I'm using right now to tape this episode, for some reason, is the developers of this website have not I don't know how to, they don't have a version, a Mac version on their website. So when you try to use this website, in my case, to tape this episode, the website gives me a message that, sorry, please use Google Chrome or this or that. We don't support Safari. So I have, obviously, I have Safari, but I also have Google Chrome on my Mac. And you may run into that. Even people on Windows nowadays, you know, they have Google Chrome, they have Edge, they have Firefox, depending on where they want to go, depending on what they want to do. One internet browser works differently, so on and so forth. So, but what do you use the most on your Mac? So what should be your default? Meaning, if you press a link in an email, for example, you get an email, mom says, here, click on this link below to go to this really funny YouTube video or whatever. If you click on the link will open to go to YouTube using your default browser, which in my case is Safari. Pardon me. I have Google Chrome installed on my Mac and I have it in my dock. When I want to use Google Chrome, I just go to my dock, find Google Chrome by pressing G and then VoSpace, and I open up Google Chrome and go to wherever on the internet I want to go to with Google Chrome. But I do have my default set to Safari. So when I open something automatically, it'll open with Safari. Okay? So
Control, Safari app, pop-up button.
And of course, there's a pop-up button there. And if you press it,
Option, control, menu check mark, Safari app. You are currently on a menu.
By VoSpacing.
Google Chrome app, check mark, Safari app, Google Chrome app, check mark, Safari app.
Okay. So there's two choices in there. In my case, Google Chrome and Safari. Maybe you're running a third browser. Who knows? And I'm going to escape out of the pop-up menu because I don't need to make a choice. But you would Vo with the space bar on your choice.
Safari app, pop-up button. You are currently on a pop-up button. To display a list of options, press Control, Option, Space.
Okay.
Option, Control.
We're going to Vo arrow right.
Ask to keep changes when closing documents. Checkbox.
Ask to keep changes. Some people don't want. I do. I'm forgetful. So if I go to close a document by accident and I haven't saved it, it's going to tell me. It's going to basically say, hey, you. Well, it doesn't say it in that way, but you know what I mean. It's going to say, hey, you, what are you doing? You're closing this. Don't you want to save your work? If you don't have this checked, then it's not going to ask you and you could lose your work if you haven't saved it. So I recommend this being saved.
Option, Control.
Sorry, I recommend this being checked.
Ask to keep changes when closing documents. Checkbox. Close windows when quitting an app. Checkbox. You are
Close windows when quitting an app. Absolutely. You don't want to quit an app and the windows are still kind of hovering, I don't know, in the background or whatever. You want this checked.
Control. When selected, open documents and windows will not be restored when you reopen an app. Close windows when quitting an app. Checkbox. When selected, open documents and windows will not be restored when you reopen an app. You are currently on a text element.
Okay, so pretty self-explanatory. If you don't have that checked and you quit something and then realize, oh my God, I want to go back to that spot where I was. If you have this checked, when you open up the app, it'll go to the last place you were. If you don't have it checked, it will quit the app completely, not save where you were. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you need more clarification on that, let me know.
Recent items. You are currently on 10. Pop-up button. You are
for recent items. How many
Control.
Recent items do you want the Mac to show you? So
Option.
Pop-up
Control.
button.
Menu check mark. 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 50. New York.
So it goes up to 50. I have it set
Control.
to 10.
10. Pop-up button.
If
You are currently on a pop-up.
Again, this is a preference.
Control.
If you like using the recent items menu and you just want to go, for example, you use your documents folder every single day. You use your mail app every single day. You use Google, whatever, Safari every single day. I don't know, whatever the case is. You want the last 10 items saved so that you can just go to the menu and go to the last place you were on that app or menu or whatever the case is. You can go all the way up to 50. Again, a preference thing. 10 is convenient for me. I don't use this recent items very much. I just find other ways to navigate are easier. No, you know what? I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say I find other ways to navigate are easier. No, but I just don't. I haven't had a real purpose for recent items, but it's there if you want to use it. Let's Vo arrow right.
Option, control, documents, apps, and servers. You are currently on allow handoff between this Mac and your iCloud devices. Checkbox. You are currently on documents, app, 10, pop documents, apps, and servers.
Okay.
You are currently on allow handoff between this Mac and your iCloud devices.
Here we have a
Control.
checkbox that to me is absolutely necessary. Allow handoff between
Option, allow handoff between this Mac and your iCloud devices. Checkbox.
this Mac and your iCloud devices. I have an iPhone. To me, this is absolutely must. It must be checked because I sometimes open up an email message on my iPhone and let's just say it's going to tell me about there's an attachment that I need to print. I don't want to do it from my iPhone. So what I would do is I would open up my mail and my mail messages will be there on my Mac and I can open my document, read it, print it, save it, all on my Mac, no problem. I'm just giving you, that's an example. Another example that I use very much is the Files app, the Notes app, even Pages. So any documents that I want on both my devices, they're there for me, for the Mac or for the iPhone. I can, and when we do a demonstration on the Notes app, I will demonstrate all this for you. I can start a note on my iPhone, finish it on my Mac, or vice versa. I love it. It's fantastic. I love Handoff. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Let's move on. Vo arrow right.
Control. Option. Use font smoothing when available. Checkbox.
Use font smoothing when available. Checkbox check. This is checked by default. I don't care. I can't see. Doesn't hurt to have it checked. It's good for sighted people. Have it checked. That's all I have to say about that.
Option. Help button. You are currently.
The last thing we have is the help button.
Control help button.
So let's go all the way back to the top.
Use recent item. Click up large. Side yellow. Highlight graph green, yellow, orange, red. Selected. Toggle button. Pink. Top purple. Blue. Accent color. Auto. Accent color. Blue. Toggle button. Blue. You are currently on a toggle
Hold
button.
on, let me
To
change
select or
this.
deselect this.
I had this on blue, so let me change it back
Control.
to blue.
Select blue. Toggle button. Accent color. Blue. Purple. Top pink. Red. Or milk green. Graphite. Highlight color. Blue. Highlight color. Pop up. Sidebar large. Sidebar blue. Highlight color. Pop up button. Menu check with purple. Pink. Red. Orange. Yellow. Yellow. Sidebar yellow. Highlight graph green. Yellow. Orange. Red. Top pink. Top purple. Blue. Selected. Toggle. Accent color. Auto. Dark. Light. Auto. Toggle button. Dark. Selected. Toggle. Light. Toggle button. Use a light appearance for buttons. Dark. Selected. Top light. Toggle button. Blue. Selected. Toggle button. Accent color. Auto. Dark. Light. Auto. Toggle button. Automatic dark. Toggle button. Light. Appearance. Toolbar.
Okay. Sorry, I just quickly set my preferences back to where I want them. So now we're back up at the top and we're on a toolbar. Okay. I'm going to interact with that toolbar.
Control. Option. Shift. In toolbar. 5 items. Back button.
It says back button. So I need to interact with the back
Option.
button.
Shift. No visible title to interact. Forward. Dimmed. Button. Back button. New.
Oh, actually, I don't have to. Okay.
Control.
I'm going to click
Option.
back.
Press back. Dimmed button.
And I'm going to stop interacting.
Forward. Back. Dimmed button. Shift. Out of toolbar.
Stop interacting with the toolbar.
Zoe Fiogkos. Apple. Family. Preference panes. Scroll area.
We're back in the preference panes.
In preference panes. Scroll area. 29 items. General button.
Okay. And that's all there is to the general category.
Control.
The next
Option.
category
Desktop and screensaver button.
is desktop
You are currently on a
and
button inside of the scroll
screensaver.
area. To click this.
Desktop and screensaver. Sorry,
Control.
I shouldn't be talking over her because you guys are going to have a hard time hearing me. So I'm going to click
Control.
this.
Option. System preferences. Loading desktop and screensaver. Window. Toolbar.
Okay.
You are currently on.
You partially
Control.
heard her say system preferences biz, and then she announced that she's in the item we chose. What she was trying to say is system preferences busy. You might hear this busy word quite a bit on the Mac. It basically means that it's loading. That's what it means. Sometimes you can get Safari busy and it can annoy you big time. It might be because too many things are open, too many things are loading, so on and so forth. I've been told that in the new OS, Monterey, it's not as bad. I personally don't care. I haven't had an issue with it. The only time I think that the busy bothers me is Safari. That's the only time when I get Safari busy. That's when I get upset because I'm on the internet. I want to go, go, go. Okay. Anyhow.
Option zoom dim but dual desktop selected tab 1 of 2.
So we have
You are
we have 2 tabs here.
Screensaver tab 2 of desktops.
Desktop and screensaver.
Control.
Desktop is selected by default. So let's see what's in here.
Control screensaver selected desktop image. You are currently on an image. Desktop picture groups table row 3 selected desktop image.
Okay. Selected desktop image, and it shows to a sighted person what's selected. I have a solid color selected. If you go arrow right,
desktop picture groups table row 3 of 5.
You have a
colors,
table.
Selected. Collection. You are custom color button. Add button. Remove dim. Change picture uncheck. Checkbox. Every 30 minutes. Change picture in random order. Dimmed uncheck. Checkbox.
Okay.
Every remove add custom collection. Desktop picture groups table row 3 of 5. Colors selected. Control. In desktop picture groups table row 3 of 5.
Okay.
Colors selected. Colors,
I interacted with the color with the table.
Option control.
And in here,
desktop Apple expanded 2 items enclosed level 1. Desktop pictures level 2. You are currently on a text
if
element
you go
inside
through,
of the
it says Apple expanded, desktop
control.
expanded.
Colors.
It says colors.
Photos. Collapse level 1.
Photos.
You are currently on a folders. Collapse.
Folders.
Control folders.
And these things are collapsed.
Control.
I don't want a picture for my background. For my desktop. You could go into pictures. You can choose a picture that you have on your computer. Maybe under the folders, you could look at your pictures. Maybe you want a picture of your dog. Maybe you want a picture of your husband, wife, your mom. I don't know, your kid. Maybe you want a picture of a rose. Okay. So you could set a picture for your desktop. You could also, of course, Apple has a whole bunch of pictures that you could choose from. I have it set to colors.
Option. Control photos. Color. Desktop pictures. Colors. Handoff desktop picture collection. Desktop picture groups. Table. Row 3 of 5. Colors. Selected.
Okay.
You are currently on a table.
So if you go right.
Collection. You are currently on a collection. To begin interacting with the items in this list, press Control, Option, Shift, down arrow.
It says collection. Let's interact.
In section, black, image in black, image. You are currently on an image. Inside of Control, Option, yellow, image, ochre, image.
Okay.
You are currently on a stone, image. You are.
As you go through these items,
Control.
The background of your desktop changes.
Control, Option, gold, image.
Gold.
You are gold, image, stone, image, ochre, image, yellow, image, black, image, black, image. You are yellow, image, plum, image, soft pink, image.
So
you
see,
are plum, yellow, image.
Right? I have it set to yellow because when I'm working and not taping an episode for Learning Together, I invert my colors. And when the yellow color gets inverted, it's a color that is comfortable for my eyes. Okay, so I'm going to escape out of this. Whoops, sorry.
Out of collection 1 item selected.
Stop interacting, I should
Control,
say.
Option, Control.
And I'm going to vo arrow right.
Custom color button.
You have a custom color button,
Control.
which I think gives you a whole bunch of other choices. You can lighten a color, darken a color, so on and so forth.
Option, Add button.
You have an add button.
Option, Remove dim button. Change picture unchecked.
You have a remove button.
Control.
The add and the remove buttons, I shouldn't say I think. They're to add in this case, colors. If I had gone to in the table, if I had gone to pictures, I would use the add button to add picture. If you add something and you don't like it, you can remove it. This shouldn't matter too much to us because we're blind. The reason I'm going through this and I'm mentioning it is only because for somebody who has light perception like me, the color of my screen is important so that my eyes don't get tired. And when I invert colors, I'll show you.
Command. Option. Option.
Oh, give me a second.
Control. Screen switch to white on black.
So I just inverted my colors. That's how I work on the computer because that's the most comfortable for me. I'm going to switch it back.
Control. Control. Screen switch to black on white.
Okay. So this is why this section is important to me because I had to play with my colors so that when I invert, it's comfortable for me. Okay. And then the next choice you have.
Remove change picture uncheck checkbox.
Change picture uncheck checkbox. If you have an album of your family and you want pictures to be changing on your desktop, that would probably drive me crazy if I'm working. If I could see, you could have that choice, right? So you would check that. Doesn't serve a purpose for me. Let's go right.
Option. Every 30 minutes. Change pic.
So how often do you want her to change picture?
Control. Change every 30 minutes. Change picture selection. Dimmed pop-up button. You are current.
Now, it's saying dimmed pop-up button because I don't have it checked. I don't have change picture every checkbox checked. I have it unchecked. That's why it doesn't allow me to go into the pop-up button. If I were to check that, then I could go into the pop-up button and select the time frame that I want the Mac to change my picture. Who cares? For me, at least. But if that's interesting to you, by all means, go right ahead and check this and choose your time frame.
Control. Change picture in random order. Dimmed uncheck. Checkbox.
Change picture in random order, meaning she's going to shuffle the pictures. She's not going to change them in the order you gave them to her. I'm talking like the Mac is a girl. I guess it's because I have a female voice for voiceover.
Option. Control. Help button.
And we have the help button. Okay, so I'm just going to check on the time. Let's see.
4:49 p.m. Timer. 24 minutes. 31 seconds.
Let me see what the next option is. I forget.
Desktop toolbar. Mute shift. In toolbar. 5 items. Back button. Press back. Dim button. Handoff tool. Zoe Fiogkos. App family sharing. Preference pane. Desktop and dock button. Mute.
Okay.
Control.
You know what? I think that's enough for today. I think that we'll cover another 2-3 things next week. That's good enough for today. I've made some of these episodes have been really long and it could be a lot of information, too long, too long, too much information. You get all confused, you get all bored. I think that that's it for today on the system preferences. We'll continue on next week. Let's all right. Okay, sorry guys. I stopped sharing my screen and I'm going to tell you guys I really appreciate your support. Please subscribe to my channel, Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner @gmail.com. I appreciate the support. Even if you don't watch every single one of my episodes, believe me, the support is appreciated. I hope you will subscribe to my channel or Victor's channel, Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway @gmail.com, or both of our channels. It really isn't, hitting a subscribe button. Seriously, guys, to me, it's no big deal. You can set your notifications to, to not notify you every time a video is posted. And that way you hit the subscribe button, you support myself or Victor, but you don't actually have to watch the videos when we air them. You don't have to get all these whole bunch of notifications coming in. Hi, here, whose blind life is it anyway? Mel's travel guide the next day. Whose blind life is it anyway? Zoe's tips, tricks, and how-tos. Oh, look, Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner, Zoe's cooking show, whatever. Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner, learn to, you don't want all these notifications. I certainly understand. You could subscribe and watch whatever you want when you want. You don't have to watch our videos when they air. Maybe you're a really big fan of my cooking show, and maybe you do watch my show every Thursday. Or maybe you have kids and you're busy on Thursdays, because Thursdays is soccer day for your kids. And maybe, you've got your, I air an episode every Thursday, or Learning Together every Friday, but you have it set to no notifications. Why? Because Saturday, when it's Dad's day to take the kids out for ice cream, and you're home alone and you can just sit down and relax and have a cup of coffee, that's maybe when you want to view, Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner. Oh, let me go through Zoe's videos. There was a honey walnut cake she made that I'm really interested in. And you'll sit down and watch it. So honestly, what I'm trying to get to is, whatever choice you make, however you decide to do it, you want the notifications, go ahead. You don't want the notification set to, no notifications. The subscription for me is great support. And I would truly appreciate it, as I know Victor would as well. So if you can subscribe to our channels, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you and we appreciate it. Of course, like and share this video. You might have relatives or friends who are visually impaired or blind, and they can benefit from one of our shows. And we would appreciate that as well. I love you guys very much. As always, see you guys on the next episode. Bye!
Catch Learning Together with Zoe Fiogkos on Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And Zoe's Blind Kitchen Corner every Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.